I'm waiting for the recording to begin. All right. So good afternoon. We start with a fresh understanding of this class and forget about the technical matters I'm losing my temper on. So what are we supposed to be talking today?
Good evening, ma'am. I was assigned with the topic by Moira Gatins.
Okay, was it assigned to you or did you volunteer?
No, ma'am, I was volunteer.
Then why put the blame on me? You said I volunteered and I am going to present. And the question was not actually who was going to present. The question was what is it that we're going to discuss today? So certainly you're right. We are going to talk about Moira Gatens. And what is the title? It says Critique of Sex and Gender. So the first concept we need to deal with in this class and understand it clearly is what is the difference between sex and gender. And before Saloni presents her understanding of Moira Gatens, I want anybody else to tell me what you understand by the word sex and what is the meaning of gender.
Ma'am,
Yes, Medha?
ma'am, sex is the biological characteristic of a person, and
Mm-hmm.
gender is the socially assigned idea of that um, entity or person.
Okay. So, you did you get on asking everybody? Have you had a chance to look at the personality traits which I just sent before the class?
Ma'am,
I'll just put it again on the screen, and we can have a very quick discussion before we um, ask Saloni to make a presentation. So I'll show that to you if you haven't had a chance to look at it before. We're talking about personality traits. There's a list of 50 traits. This, as the name suggests, is a personality traits and can belong to either. They're considered predominantly in our socialization, what you just said. In our socialization, these are predominantly considered, some of them as male and some of them as female. And this was the traditional division. But now we do know that we are talking about the third, the transgender, the trans person, persons also. So different people have different opinions on this consideration. There is nothing right or wrong. They are merely opinions. In your opinion, which of these are male traits, which are female traits, which are trans person traits? Against each trait, mark M, T, or F, and A for all human beings traits. Please remember they are mere opinions. There's nothing right or wrong about it. So one has to be very clear about this aspect of the situation, of the scenario. So anyone who would want to shout and say which of these traits, any one trait pick up and tell me what you think, whether predominantly it's a male trait or it's a female trait or is it transgender. Have you picked up any trait as any of the 3 or 4 categories I've asked you to? And remember, technically, all of them can be all. But that's not what we're talking about, that technically it is possible. We think so, because of socialization, which traits we think are predominantly suggested or developed by the males, which of them developed by the females.
Okay. Ma'am, do we have to answer based on what we think should be or what the society thinks?
You can, if you have a reason to differ with the society, you can state that. Because as I'm saying, that technically speaking, every single trait can belong to all of us, right? And therefore, one can say, oh, I put A against each one of them. But we do know that our society doesn't, we are not brought up like that. And I'm not asking you what is my trait as a woman, because my trait as a woman may be different traits for another woman, because that's not as a woman, it's my personality as an individual. So we'll have individual differences. We're talking about, generally speaking, what are considered.
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, the first characteristic which is visible is calm, which is usually associated with women, quiet.
Mhm.
Like women is expected to be meek, not to speak in public sphere or in any matter of great importance. There, even if they try to speak, their opinion is considered, like their opinion is not considered required.
Look, calm is different than what you're talking about. You're talking about the ability to participate. Calm is that, no, at mental level you are calm. No, you might be adverse situation, you will not lose temper. So it's not, khamosh. Women remain khamosh because they are never heard. They do not have spaces to speak. That is a different thing than we're talking about an individual personality trait. So when it comes to the personality trait, we are saying that so certainly calm is seen as women, but the understanding of what is calm is much more a mental state and the state of being. They're not supposed to throw tantrums. They're not supposed to be aggressive. This is in contrast to that. So what you are talking about is actually silence. They're silenced. The
Yes, ma'am.
silence is different. Huh? Until
The
silenced is different from being calm.
and the other one was fifth one was quiet. Now I also mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned my narrative based on the factor of quiet. Like
Mm-hmm.
women is expected to be quiet and usually asked asked also.
Yeah.
Then the other is the
अब
carefree.
लड़कियों को ज्यादा बोलना नहीं चाहिए, ज्यादा हंसना नहीं चाहिए. So that certainly they should not be outwardly expressing themselves. So quiet is also seen, encouraged among girls.
Ma'am, even when the society is changing, the patriarchal norms still remain like they do not shake basic pillars. Like even
Mm-hmm.
if women are educating, like even when we try to speak or like many of the places we have seen like they are said like ज्यादा पढ़ लिख कर ऐसे like we are ऐसे वाला हमको बोला ज्यादा पढ़ लिख लिया है तो क्या हो गया हो तो ऐसे ही बोले जाते like
पढ़ लिख के लड़की बिगड़ गई, बोलने लग गई.
yes ma'am like being education is shown make as a privilege to us and then they also like withdraw the freedom liberty to speak then.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else? No
Ma'am,
male
impulsive.
traits?
I would like to. Ma'am, impulsive for males because they
Impulsive
have
for
high
males.
metabolism rate and they feel more easily agitated in a
Hmm.
certain situation.
Hmm.
So impulsive is
How
more
many
like
how many of you would agree with impulsive as a male trait? Do I see any hands up? How many of you would disagree? I mean, just to show that no, there is no hard and fast categorization or understanding. Some would say it's a male trait, some would say no, no, it's not a male trait. Actually, girls are more impulsive. They do a lot of shopping on impulse, even if they don't need it. So there are different examples and different experiences. Only to show that how, okay, the one I want to focus on is emotional. What do you think? Emotional.
Ma'am, both are
Ma'am,
equally
emotional,
women.
ma'am,
Ma'am,
emotional is generally associated with women. And if there is any situation where a man is expressing his emotions or sharing his opinion like very emotionally, then others would say क्यों लड़कियों की तरह behave कर रहा है
Right.
ये and
Right. So what we understand
Ma'am,
by emotion.
ma'am, I feel when we say about like emotional is a trait of women, we only associate the weaker emotions. Like anger is also an emotion, but anger is something we associate more with men. And
Mhm.
like crying, and like if your child has done something wrong, so it's assumed that the father will show anger, while the mother will show the feelings of protection, and like just leave it. She'll do fine next time and all that. So even under emotional, I think there are two types of like gender differentiation.
Yeah, Medha, that's a very important point you just made, and that was the point actually I wanted to highlight here. When we think of what is emotion, we think of expressing it by crying. So if you're crying, then you are showing emotions. But when you are angry, it is not seen as a category of emotion. Anger is an emotion. And in law, what is the emotion which has been protected is anger. When you look at grave and sudden provocation, you lose temper because you are angry finding your wife or your daughter or somebody in illicit relationship. 99% cases under grave and sudden provocation are these cases. And these are men who are losing temper and killing either the woman or the boyfriend or whoever that other man is. So these are the men showing anger and losing control over their themselves. But the law recognizes women don't behave in they do not react to infidelity in the same manner. They cry, they will do whatever, no, they will do everything else exceptionally. There might be an exceptional woman who will go and kill the husband or the girlfriend. But the law says it is human to lose self-control in such situation. While it is only males who do that, and even then, despite the fact that law has recognized that men get emotional in such certain circumstances to the extent of going and killing somebody else, law makes an exception for that emotional outburst of the men. But when the women get an emotional outburst in circumstances which are different, women have their emotional outburst in cases of long-term domestic violence. So Karanjit Ahluwalia category. So when you have that, law doesn't take cognizance of that as a normal human reaction. It only says, no, you are conniving, you are planning, you are waiting. So all kinds of uh, uh, legal response is there to what women do when they lose their temper, because they lose their temper in different circumstances. They also lose their temper, but after a long time of domestic violence. Men lose it on the spot in a certain given circumstance. So that sudden losing of temper is seen as human failure, not man failure. But the human failure after a long-term domestic violence is not seen as human failure, that is seen as a psychological condition. So the manner in which we deal with emotions of human beings, of male emotions and the female emotions, are also different. So it's not only that we have classified, we have our mental images of how women should be behaving, how men should be behaving. We have also there are legal consequences of that categorization as well. One more minute on the third. Do we know any personality trait which we'll say is typical of the third, of the trans persons?
Ma'am, less sociable.
Why do you say less sociable? Because you don't
Ma'am,
you don't speak with them.
no, ma'am, because generally when in the media the trans persons are depicted, they are shown as people who are not being accepted by the society, and therefore they don't
So
go out.
are they not sociable, or we're not letting them in ourselves
Ma'am, I think
among
that
ourselves?
is like my perception of them, that a person, if I'm talking to a person, so that person will not generally reveal if he has a different gender identity very easily.
No. But that is not. They're unsocial. They're less sociable. It is only that they are not accepted. They have a
Ma'am,
whole
so this,
community of themselves.
ma'am,
They
like
are the
so,
ones whom no, because they were not born in those communities. No? They were born in our families, in our households. We ousted them.
no, ma'am. So what I am saying is that this non-acceptance makes them less sociable, that they are afraid to go out into the society. That they would have gone, but the society doesn't accept them, so they don't go out.
Go back to the women's category. Women don't speak.
Ma'am,
They don't speak because they don't want to speak or they're not allowed to speak.
Ma'am, they are not allowed to speak. So
So then,
gradually
then just because,
they are
yeah,
conditioned ultimately to not speak out in public, because they know that I will not be listened to. So what's the use of speaking only?
but does it mean that she is by as a trait she's quiet? She's
Ma'am,
quiet and she's silence is different than as a personality. अभी बतौड़ा किसको बोलते हैं? बातें ही नहीं खत्म होती.
No, ma'am,
इसकी
actually,
बातें
I'm
नहीं
just
खत्म होती,
saying
लड़कियों
about
की कि लड़कों की.
protection.
नो नो टेल मी मेधा,
Yes, ma'am.
कौन मशहूर है गप्पे ना बातें करने के लिए?
Men, women.
तो फिर क्वाइट किधर है?
Hmm.
तो बातें करने के लिए तो हम जैसा कहते
No,
हैं
no, no,
लड़कियों.
like
No,
when
no, but somewhere,
when
what we are trying to, no, the other point I want to know is, well, do we know any of these third persons for us to make our opinions as to what they are about? We have got
not
no
exactly.
exposure. We just do not know them.
Yes, ma'am.
We say then
Ma'am,
what is our exposure on the red lights? Sometimes they are found begging, or when there is a childbirth or there is a marriage, then they come and most of the time it ends up in an ugly scene because they're asking more money than we want to give. So that is our exposure to this, no? What we call it the Hijra community. So third, of course, is much bigger than the Hijra community. But the visual, when you are saying visual, then certainly the category which is still in the closet. And this third can be very, very inclusive of not only the biological category, but also the sexual orientation minority, the group with a different sexual orientation as well. So certainly, those people, we do not even know that they are there. So the visibly third is the Hijra category. And we have our own opinions of Hijra without knowing actually what their life is about. So many times we create stereotyping images. So
yes,
certainly
ma'am.
the stereotyping images are a burden on both men and women. So there may be a man very sensitive, very caring, but because poor thing belongs to the group called males who are not seen to be as caring as women, they may suffer the same ouster. Similarly, girls who are outgoing, who are expressive, etc., they might be seen meaning she's not she's not recognized for being her, not to her because of the individual capacity this girl has, but because of the stereotypical images we have. So we constantly create stereotypical images, and these are coming from our socialization. In this whole discussion, what we are assuming is that it is only the socialization that is the problem. So if we were socialized differently, and we say this very often, that today's children are socialized differently because their mothers are also working. So they are supposed to look after themselves at home without the mothers. Earlier, the girls were trained to look after the family affairs. Brother comes and you will give water to him or something. Now we might have only a single child, and that single child, whether a male and female, is left alone at home because both the parents have gone working. So the boys are also now being trained to do the household chores for themselves. And this will change their perceptions. Socialization will change their perceptions about gender. So that's one way to deal with the problem we have, that in the socialization, we have created a higher status for men. And if you bring up our sons and daughters differently, we tell our daughters you are no less than the sons, and we tell the sons to take certain qualities of the what are seen as feminine qualities, then we will all have androgen persons who will be non-gendered and who will be equal participants in all activities, etc. That's a simple solution. And that's what Maura Gayton is challenging. So Saloni, it's your turn now. Are you here? Yeah. So tell us, what have you understood from this reading?
Ma'am, I have a small PPT to present in front of
Please
all
go
of you.
ahead. Yes,
Yeah,
please
sure,
go ahead.
sure, ma'am. Just a minute, ma'am.
The others also who have read can add to after Saloni has made her points. Then if you think there was something else also which you picked up, you will also add that. So I had, I
Okay,
think,
ma'am.
Mera and Ananya saying they've also read. What happened?
Just a minute, ma'am. Sorry.
Sorting out, huh?
Yeah,
But
first
you're
time
logging in
experiencing.
from another device.
Yes, ma'am. Just uh, here we are. Is the PPT is visible?
Yes.
Okay.
You can put it in presentation mode.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so just to understand the like title of this article, we have to like go with the whole topic of like this, what is gender, what is sex, how we identified as a like anyone like a female or a woman as a like woman or a like how we are like identifying a human being as a like a female or as a woman. So just to start. My first question is that who is Moira Gettins? She has written this article, this beautiful article, very informative one. So firstly, we are going to know like who is Moira Gettins. So she is a Australian academic feminist philosopher, and she is also a professor of philosophy in the University of Sydney. She has written many books like Imaginary Body, Feminism and Philosophy, Collective Imaginary, etc. So she is like the best person to talk about like the distinction of like sex and gender. And that's lead me to the like next point. The article is based on a three fundamental question. The whole article is going around on the three questions. The first question is like, what is the theoretical basis of a sex and gender distinction? So firstly, we have to understand what do we mean by sex. So when we say that sex is a biological conception of a human body as a male or female, and gender is the like kind of socialization of like the sex terminology as like woman or male. So let's understand this in like firstly in biological way, like how we identify someone as like female or male. So in context of biology, to explore this question, we will go in like three folds: biological, psychological, and socioculture to understand the distinction between two. So firstly, we will look into the like biological. So how we are identified as a like a male and a male body human being or like a female body human being uh, according to their geneticals, types of hormones, and also about like it is also like biological context is also about like the chromosome. So if we are talking about like what kind of hormones, so there are three kind of hormones hormones which determine like the reproductive or like the sexual desire or that is determined in like the female or male gender. So there are three kind of hormones that is responsible for such kind of activity. But the interesting point is like all these hormones are is available in like male and female both bodies. It not like male body has certain kind of hormones and woman body does not have them, both of them. But like the hormone is like estrogen, which is responsible for the growth of eggs, maintenance of like the thickness of the vaginal walls, and this hormone is also help to formation of like the breast tissues in female body. And also like one more hormone which is prevalent in like female body. It is like uh, prestro prestogen. It is linked to the like menstrual cycle of in females, pregnancy, and also responsible for the development of ebro. Ebro means like a womb, like the formation of a child within human like a female womb. And when a baby start forming her shape. uh, and that let's come to the third hormone, that is testosterone. So testosterone is hormone which is available in like male body in like heavier amount as compared to the like female body. And this is responsible for like the sperm production, and it is also helping like sex drive, Male body mass is like heavier than the woman because of this hormones, because testosterone is available in male body, as compared to the in a heavier amount as compared to the amount is available in the female body. Muscular size and strength, red blood cell production, all of these are responsible for because of this hormones. That's why, like, if we talk about like the hemoglobin things, for normal i- is to say I'm more comfortable in Hindi, so I'm going to present in Hindi.
हिंदी में
That's
बोल
all.
सकते हो, हिंदी में बोल सकते हो, कोई इशू नहीं है.
ओके. सो अगर हीमोग्लोबिन की बात की जाए, तो अगर नॉर्मल फीमेल की बात की जाती है, तो हम लोग 12 तक देखते हैं, तो कहते हैं कि ओके फाइन, सी इज हेल्थी. बट इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ अ मेल, तो हम कहते हैं कि 14 to 16 होना चाहिए. This is why like this hormone testosterone is available in like the male body in higher amount. Because of that, like the hemoglobin level in like male bodies are higher than as compared to the female body. Now come to the chromosome. Our second factor of like the biological in the biological conception of the sex. वुमेन बॉडीज में 46 टाइप के क्रोमोसोम होते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग 2X. और मेल बॉडी में भी 46 टाइप के क्रोमोसोम होते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग 1X एंड 1Y क्रोमोसोम. और अगर कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि चाइल्ड जो है वो मिक्स फीमेल एंड मेल जेनेटिकल ऑर्गन्स के साथ जो बच्चे पैदा होते हैं, उनमें मिक्स काइंड ऑफ लाइक क्रोमोसोम पाए जाते हैं. कभी कभी ट्रिपल एक्स हो सकता है, कभी डबल एक्स 1Y हो सकता है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल देम इंटरसेक्स. और इस तरह के बच्चों का जो एवरेज ग्लोबली है, 1500 बर्थ्स में एक ऐसा बच्चा जो होता है वो इंटरसेक्स होता है. सो एज ऑफ नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइक इन द बायोलॉजिकल. तो हम लोग जेनेटिकल बॉडी पार्ट्स जो है उसकी वजह से डिटरमाइन करें कि अच्छा हाँ ये लड़की है, ये लड़का है. हार्मोन्स का जैसे मैंने बताया कि एस्ट्रोजीन और प्रोस्टोजीन जो है वो वुमेन में ज़्यादा पाया जाता है, और टेस्टोस्टेरोन जो है वुमेन में कम पाया जाता है, मेन में ज़्यादा पाया जाता है. सो ये हो गया. और जो ट्रांसजेंडर की अगर हम बात करें, इंटरसेक्स बच्चों की बात करें, तो उनमें ये मिक्स हो सकता है, मतलब ज़्यादा कम कुछ भी हो सकता है. दैट इज लाइक केस टू केस वो डिफर करता है. नाउ कम टू लाइक आवर नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, दैट इज साइकोलॉजिकल. सो अगर
Before we
साइकोलॉजिकल
move on to psychological, Saloni, I must say that all this has come not from Moira Gatens, but she has done other researches. इसका important point पता क्या है? That when we said biological features, male body genitals and female body genitals, is how we distinguish the two bodies. Now, what about those persons? The one पिछले side में जाएंगे सलोनी.
okay,
What about the hormones? So when we have testosterone, higher level of testosterone in a biologically female body, हमारे स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन रही है ना अभी कुछ भी पिछले दिनों उठा था. So how do you, by reference to the body, they will be classified as women, but by reference to the testosterone level in their body, they would be classified as males. तो जब वो स्पोर्ट्स में आती हैं, so then the controversy arises that should they be competing in the male sports teams or whether should be the female sports team. So जो हमारी सेक्स की definition even by reference to the biological level है, that has become more complicated today with the scientific developments which can identify not only the visuals of the female and male body, but also the other component of the biological body. So that's a very important point which has been brought out in the first slide. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am, and there is one different type of cell that is known as a stem cell. So, like scientists has claimed that like we have certain cell which know like we are women or like male, or when we are like transplanting, suppose like कि हम लोग kidney transplantation करते हैं, so somehow they manage to survive in like मतलब वो women body की तरह ढल जाता है, फिर या तो फिर बहुत ज़्यादा टेस्ट वगैरह करके फिर आप transplant कर सकते हैं. So that is an ongoing research. We have to wait.
आपने सब कहाँ से पढ़ा?
लाइक मैंने बहुत सारा आर्टिकल रेफर किया मैम, बहुत टफ था.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad. That's why I said, your teacher is only 64 years of experience and knowledge. So we have to get on all your other experiences also. Go ahead. Very good.
Okay, ma'am. So now moving to the psychological point factor. So like before referring to the psychological factor, firstly we have to understand that कि psychology क्या है. Psychology is the study of mind and behavior, and it is like composition of like the like biological influences, as we have discussed with the help of hormones and chromosome and the genetical organs of like human body. एंड दैट लाइक कि जो बायोलॉजिकल इन्फ्लुएंसेस है वो हमारे सोशल प्रेशर और इन्वायरमेंटल फैक्टर से अफेक्ट होता है हाउ वी थिंक एक्ट और फील अगर हम मतलब कुछ करते तो फर्स्टली ये जो मतलब डेफिनेशन है वो सोशियोलॉजी का है. तो अब इसमें सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जो यहाँ पे आता है वो है सोशल प्रेशर एंड इन्वायरमेंटल फैक्टर दैट अफेक्ट हाउ वी थिंक एक्ट एंड फील. सो अब ये मतलब सोशियोलॉजी के अकॉर्डिंगली अगर जाएं तो फिर हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि हमारा सोशल फैक्टर में क्या है, सोशल प्रेशर्स क्या है, हमारा स्टेरियोटाइप्स क्या है. सो मूविंग देयर, I have a very interesting question to ask my fellow friends. Like, I was looking into like Wikipedia for like some articles. So there, this says that ki adult male brain are like are on like average of like 11 to 12% heavier and 10% bigger than the human brain. What does it mean? And why is it? Like,
Please
Well,
repeat the question again.
yeah, because it says something about human brain, bigger than the human brain. Are they not human?
no, they are saying that ki male brains are on average 11 to 12% heavier and 10% bigger than female brains.
Female. Okay.
Yeah, we are comparing like कि मेल ब्रेन जो है 10 to 12% ज्यादा मतलब हेवियर है और 10% बिगर है, बड़ा है एज कम्पेयर टू फीमेल ब्रेन्स. सो इसका मतलब क्या है? या फिर इसका कुछ मतलब भी निकलता है या क्या है?
उनके पास ज्यादा दिमाग है.
नहीं मैम एक्चुअली इसका मतलब तो ये है बेसिकली if it is a heavier and bigger than female brain, it means that it is having a large number of neural network contained in that brain, and maybe due to the psychological factors he has due to the circumstances and all sort of things, he had understand the things and he is having the family pressure and requirements, तो वो उस चीज को understand कर रहा है. That's why क्योंकि वो घर की जो important decisions होते हैं तो वो लेता है, बिकॉज मेल पर्सन ही जनरली लेता है एज पर इंडियन सेटअप जो है. तो ये हो सकता है एक रीजन मेरे पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
ओके
Ma'am, I think in a I think in a layman's language, if we would not dive deep into science, जो उसमें लिखा हुआ है that it is bigger and heavier. So I think there are many other things also. So it can be just a simple thing also कि बस वो मेल्स का ब्रेन जो है वो साइज में बड़ा होता है and it's heavier.
मेन भी तो
It is
है.
also a possibility that it has
मेन भी तो
nothing to do
साइज
with
में
anything else.
हेवियर एंड बिगर होते हैं. नो बट ऑल्सो मेन तो साइज में भी तो जनरल बॉडी साइज भी तो बिगर एंड हेवियर होता है.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
Ma'am, from what I have read, ma'am, from what I have read, there's no difference in intelligence because of the size difference, and women's brain have better connections. I'm not sure exactly, but that's what I remember.
Salonius led us the right path. चलो आगे बढ़ो. जवाब भी दो अब.
Okay, like ma'am, you have like really like rightly said like कि men generally have a like a greater body mass than the women. That's why they have 10 to 11 to 12% heavier and 10% bigger brain as compared to women. So that does not have to do anything with like intellectual और pressure ज़्यादा होता है और neurons ज़्यादा connected या फिर complex हैं. That does not have to do anything. हाँ, but like कि
उनका
women
बॉडी साइज बड़ा है तो ब्रेन साइज भी बड़ा है. बॉडी साइज के प्रपोर्शन में सेम है.
yeah exactly ma'am. बट हाँ वुमेन स्कैल्प जो होता है मैन स्कैल्प के कंपैरिजन में ज्यादा थिकर होता है और दैट्स व्हाई कि वुमेन इंट्यूशंस और एम्पैथी की जो बात होती है वो वुमेन में ज्यादा एक्टिव है एज कंपेयर टू मेल. सो दैट इज अ प्लस पॉइंट फॉर लाइक वुमेन.
Ma'am, one question I would like to ask here. If you
Yeah.
compare the brain size, then if you go to the child brain, it is having a very smaller functionality. Okay? तो अगर
Yeah.
ब्रेन साइज की बात करेंगे, चाइल्ड 5 साल के बच्चे की बात करेंगे, तो उसका ब्रेन तो उतना डेवलप नहीं होता है, उसका साइज भी छोटा होता है, तो he can contain the intelligence.
डेफिनेटली हमारी जो 80% जो ब्रेन है वो मतलब 5 to 7 ईयर के एज तक में डेवलप हो जाती है, बाकी 20% हम एक्सपीरियंस ले रहे हैं. सो आई
हाँ
हैवंट टोल्ड यू लाइक कि व्हाट आर लाइक द टोडलर्स, लाइक कि बेबी गर्ल और बेबी बॉय का कंपैरिजन नहीं, मैंने सिंपल पूछा एडल्ट ह्यूमन ब्रेन, लाइक मेल
नहीं,
ब्रेन एंड फीमेल
I
ब्रेन.
got it right, but
And
आप कहते
Ramesh,
ना
the other thing is also when you look at the adolescent brain, and there has been a lot of studies done on the adolescent brain, that brain has different parts, and they are not all connected with each other. And there is a process called myelination, which ultimately, what we talk about. I work on the juvenile justice area, so therefore we look at some of those literature to find out why in your adolescence you would know yourself that we had a lot more impulsive behavior. We would want to have thrill in our life. We want to drive fast. We will want to disobey our parents. We would want to do things which our parents are asking us not to do. And we know that it is not right, but we always believe that nothing wrong will happen. We are very confident about ourselves that we have the capacities. When we drive very fast at 17 and 16 and 18 and 19, we are very sure that we will not meet with an accident because the thrill seeking component of the brain, we call that as the accelerator in the brain, that is at a very high level of development in adolescent. But the back portion which puts the brakes on this thrill seeking behavior is still not connected with the frontal lobe, and that results into, even though the adolescent children know that it is wrong, they will still do it. Rapes in the adolescence, they know it's a wrong social behavior, but the physical ability to stop themselves at that point of time is much less because the myelination process is still happening. And it kind of starts from the back, and so it's like of there is wiring there, but the electricity is still, the connections are still not switched on. So certainly in the children are seen as persons with growing capacities. Every day it is developing. And now we do know that it's about 20, 25 years of age. By the time this whole process is complete and your mind is much more stabilized, you are much more stable in your thinking. Till that time, the brain is still pruning and prodding. Whatever is not useful, it develops that. So certainly, the capacities and the brain functioning of a growing brain are different. And we are in this class, of course, as Aroni did clarify, we're talking about the brains which are fully developed as a matter of growth, physical growth of the brain size. So after that, she's saying that the male brains is bigger and heavier, and some people stereotype because of that because they have a bigger size of brain and bigger size of the heavier brains, therefore men are more intelligent, more capable of doing things than women are. So that was the point actually which Saroni was making, that the size of the brain is proportionate to the body size of the body. So children's brain are certainly smaller. The body size of the children is also smaller. And also the developing part is still there, which is not happening. When we say brain development, the two levels. One is the physical development of the brain, and the other is the psychological development. We keep on learning. We learn new things. We discard new things. All that is a continuous function of the brain. But the physical size of the brain stops at some point of time in our lives. So can we move on?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
yes ma'am,
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, ma'am. So, understand this like distinction of sex and gender in sociological order. We have to firstly understand like what kind of social pressure we have as a human being and what kind of environmental factors affect us to become a male into a man, a female into a woman. So before going that, one thing I want to clarify is like the gender identity. Someone in like previous classes has raised this question: the gender identity and gender expression. What does it mean? To understand us, understand this topic in like the more comprehensive way. So, according to the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against the Defamation, they say that gender identity is one's internal personal sense of being a man and woman. For transgender people, their own internal gender identity does not match the sex they were assigned at the time of birth. Most people have a gender identity of male or woman, but for some people, their gender identity does not fit neatly into one of those choices, two choices, which we like either the male, male or like female. And to understand like the gender expression, they say that external manifestation of gender express thought, one's name, pronouns, clothing, haircut, behavior, voice, or body characteristics. Socially identifies these cues as the masculine or feminine, although what is considered masculine and feminine change over time and varies from the culture to culture. So I hope you have got what I was trying to say, that what I mean to say that with gender identity and gender expression. If anyone has any question, please raise. No one? Okay. Now understand the sexual identity. We often get confused with like gender identity, gender expression, and sexual identity. Sexual identity is nothing but one think of like the self in terms of like whom one is like romantically or sexually attracted. Like it could happen like I feel like a woman but I am attracted to a woman, so I'm a lesbian. I am a male and I'm attracted towards a male, I'm like a gay. Or maybe I'm a transgender person but I feel like or attracted towards another male or female. So that could happen. And that was that. And now move to our like the most important, the fundamental things to understand like the distinction of this sex and gender is socio culture. One is not born rather become a woman. This is a famous saying of Cinnamon. She was like the feminist. She has written a classic book on like the on gender that is known as the second sex. So to understand this concept of like socioculture, we have to understand like the different conceptual. Some of like what do we mean by like one is not born rather become a woman? Do we have
Saloni,
any?
1 second. Saloni, 1 second. Everybody, please pay attention to the two words, a woman. This spelling of woman, this is something commonly we come across everybody all the years. Most students do not make a distinction between the spelling WOMAN and WOMEN. WOMN is plural of woman. So if you are saying a woman, then it has to be MAN. Please notice,
Yes, ma'am,
and
correct.
something, this is a mistake. Don't make all the time. For this course, you will be using a lot of time women and woman. So we pronounce what is written here as women, and when it's single, then it is woman. So woman and women have to be distinguished. Sorry, stopping you, Saloni, but it is something which is very basic in our conversations. That right up to PhD, I find students making this mix of women and women. Continue.
Yes, ma'am. So when we say that
It's a very, very
one is
important quote. It's a very important quote. One is not born male or female, but what we say is that one is born as male or female and they become men and women. So people are born as male and female, but they become. So what is the difference between being a male and being a man? That's the point we want to understand. What's the difference of being a female and being a woman?
yeah, this is the essence of this whole article to understand this.
मैम कैन आई
So
से
yes, sure.
Yes, yes, Anju.
मैम ये जो कोटेशन है ये तो मैम ये बता रहा है कि कुछ आइडेंटिटी हमें बाय बर्थ मिलती हैं, जैसे हमारी सेक्सुअल आइडेंटिटी, और कुछ आइडेंटिटी जो हमारे जैसे जैसे हम ग्रो होते हैं सोसाइटी में, सोसाइटी के थ्रू हमें दी जाती हैं. दैट यू आर मेल यू हैव टू बिहेव लाइक दिस, इफ यू आर अ वुमेन यू हैव टू बिहेव लाइक दिस.
Yeah. But when you say sexual identity, and what Saloni said was, Saloni was saying that the term used, sexual identity, is much more about your sexual orientation. When we say, and also Saloni, you use the word, then your your gender identity may be different than the one which has been assigned to you at birth. So this assignment is an important word to again keep track of. Assignment means that the biological features were not clear, and therefore the doctors assigned you a category. But and we do not question in that one that if you have a proper male genitals, if you have a proper female genitals, then identity is not the gender identity is not assigned to you. You are born as a male and a female. So assignment is a word where we are making a choice, and but the gender identity issue can happen not only for those children who were assigned. We are not only saying that only intersex children get into an identity issue at a later age. It may be a biological male or a biological female who may also get into this situation where they feel that even though I have a biological body of a male, I feel like a woman. Or vice versa, that it is a biological body of a female proper, but she felt that no, she is a male trapped in the female body. So it is happening, this whole conflict between your biological sex and your identity are different. And that's where that's the set of people we have not been at all concerned about so far. It's only now that they have come out. The whole issue has come out of the project. Not that the people are still coming out. That's very few have come out. Majority still haven't come out. But this is an issue which has come out that yes, it is not only intersex persons or people having this was seen the non-compatibility of your sense of who you are and your body was seen at some point of time as a mental condition. That they were mentally ill to think, oh, I'm a woman while my body is male, or my body is female, but I think I'm a male. And so there was hard poke, psychological treatment, electric shocks, everything was given to them to cure them. But way back in 1970, I think itself, it was declared it's not a psychological condition, it's not a psychiatric condition. It is a natural condition of people being there. So once this was normalized, and that's where it has today we have reached a point where we are recognizing them as much equal human beings as anybody else is. So one has to very clearly understand that when we are using certain terms, they have in our discourse a certain proper meaning. So assigned sex is the one in relation to the intersex person. So if a boy is born with proper male features, they're not assigned, they're just declared that a boy has been born or a girl has been born. But in case of intersex children, a sex is assigned to them. You think it's time for us to stop, even though it's a very interesting discussion? We'll continue tomorrow. Have you marked your attendance?
No, ma'am.
So please do that. And I don't have to remind, no, I should not be remembering attendance. You should be the one who should remember attendance. So mark your attendance.
I think we have time.
Sorry? We still have time?
Ma'am, I think we have time, yes, ma'am, till 5. We can continue this topic.
How come we have got time?
It's 48. Ma'am, we have time.
But
no, this class is till 4:45.
No, ma'am, we don't.
This class is till 4:45.
Okay, ma'am, I don't know about the others, ma'am.
No, this is till 4:45.
Oh, sorry.
Because the system doesn't allow me this 5 minutes thing. So the class time in our schedule shows blocks of 15 minutes, but our classes are 55 minutes each. So this class was still 4:45.
Okay, sorry, ma'am, my mistake.
That's why I put up alarms for my class timing, because the timings are 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and this system doesn't allow us that. So, all right, see you tomorrow, and we'll continue. Tomorrow we have listed, because we always have this one class backup. So we'll continue talking about this. listed, and in fact, from sex and gender, the second component, which is very essential in our conversation, will be private-public dichotomy. It's coming from this sexual division, from the identification of bodies as inferior, as more capable of doing one thing or the other, which leads to the public-private. So there's a continuation of the thread. So we'll continue with this and move on to Carol Pittman. Tomorrow and day after, we should be able to cover all this. So, okay, thank you, Saloni. It was an interesting beginning, but we are still to get on to Maura Gittins as such, actually.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
The good
Thank you.
background. This is a very good background for understanding Maura Gittins.
Okay.
So, are anybody else ready for the second reading? Carol Pittman? Volunteers? I think somebody did our volunteer earlier. Or somewhat backpacking.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, Udit.
Ma'am, I have joined many of your classes previously, but not through Google Classroom. And I have got your email that I did not join any of your class. So, ma'am, please, ma'am, mark my attendance in the previous class.
I cannot mark your attendance. You're not in the
WhatsApp
class.
group.
If you have not attended classes, you're not attended classes. If you have attended classes, then you would have marked your presence. If you have marked your presence, I'll mark your presence.
Yeah, ma'am.
No, in the
Ma'am,
classroom,
I attended.
the mail which
Yeah.
I have sent are of the people who
Yeah.
have not accepted the joining of the e-classroom. Please join the
Yeah, yeah.
e-classroom. Because only then I would know that you are here. No,
Okay,
that
ma'am.
these are two independent matters. If you have been marking your presence, you will be marked. But you have to
I thought
also
I was
join,
not
because
marked.
in that group I've got 89 people on my list, while out of them only
Yeah.
64 have joined, and out of those 64, only 50 are A and D section students, which means 22 students
Yeah.
of our class have still not
Yeah,
joined. So please
Yeah,
join.
ma'am. I have joined it, ma'am. After the
Yeah.
mail, I have joined.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
So let me stop recording.